Oh,
You know, our garden.
hi. This is Mrs. Volpe from our Half Acre Homestead, and little brother John from out in hill country of Ohio. I probably didn't say it right, and you're probably laughing at me, aren't you?
No way, eh?
Don't give me none of your That just makes us look more like brother and sister. So you guys, I loved your pipe bomb. I just peed my pants. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, it's okay. That's what the diapers were for. So,
Yeah. We spent a couple of years going to Parliament Hill when we first moved here. It was a total, like, I mean, from where we lived in Ontario, Canada Day was like, when you lived out in the country, it was like, oh, because it's a relative, Canada Day celebration is kind of a relatively new thing for us. You guys have been doing it since the War of 1812, right? Or whatever. And so when we moved out here, and we lived close enough to Ottawa that we could actually go to Parliament Hill, I was thinking, you know, okay, well, we'll go have some fireworks and stuff. You couldn't get within 6 city blocks of Parliament Hill. You had to park, and people were renting out their driveways for $20 for the day, kind of thing. And they'd make it so that the people would park on their lawns, you know, and you would walk to Parliament Hill. And they had guys on stilts and juggling and rock concerts, and oh my God, I'll never forget the one time we went, and people, red and white, everywhere you went, just red and white. I got pictures somewhere of me with Mounties. And no, that ain't a sexual position, folks. That's actually a Canadian police officer dressed in red. But one we went to, we were right up against, we were there all day. So when we knew the concert, oh my God, I can't even remember his name. Howie? Who was it? We were right up at the gates on Canada Day, and he sang our song. Colin James, sorry. Colin James, what's that? Yeah, it was a Van Morrison tune called Into the Mystic. But Colin James did it, and he was playing this Six Nation guitar, which was being autographed and then sent around all over the country, and then it was going to be put in the museum. But we were right there. I mean, right there at the barrier, you know? And he was singing this song, God. What was the song that he actually turned around and looked at me? He freaked right out, right? Freaked me right out, because he was doing this song, and it was one of those things where, whoa, and I did one of those, whoa, and he turned around and he looked at me because he heard me over the sound system. and he went, he gave me a big old grin, but I'll never forget it when he played Into the Mystic, and how he put his arm around my neck and kind of gave me one of those, pulled me close hugs, and it was just, forget the fireworks and all that stuff. It was a really, oh, stop! I'm getting all misty there. It was so beautiful.
Hey, I'm a dude, right? Tell me the story about the Canada Day when you guys went out and blew shit up. That's what I want to hear.
Oh, well, I tell you, we actually didn't do it on Canada Day. This was because this was back when we lived in South Central Ontario, and we didn't really know Canada Day wasn't no big deal. But well, it is now because I'm more aware. But I'm a pyro man. I am such a pyro. Like, you know your friend Opie who sells all the fireworks? Does he do that all year round?
Let's see. No.
Damn. Because
no.
when I come down, I'm coming packing duct tape and buckets, and I'm going to have me a black, because I have found that I am in the wrong profession. I should have been a pyrotechnic, because I can do shit with over-the-counter over-the-counter fireworks.
Yeah.
The first time we did it, we had it so nicely. All the buckets of sand were lined up, so we could go bing, bang, boom, lighting things off all the way. And I did stuff with duct tape and electrical tape and twist ties and things that would just make a pyrotechnic take me as an apprentice. Honest to God. So that was the Victoria Day weekend. So come Canada Day, my neighbors had taken up a collection and sent us to like your Opie friend, but it was a big tractor trailer in a mall parking lot, and they gave us $500. Said, we liked your fireworks, go make more.
Yeah.
Right. So I just went a shopping, and had these umbrella star things wrapped in don't do this at home, kids. Wrapped in Roman candles, and then I twist tied all the wicks together. And even when they're different sizes, all you have to do is upscale the shorter ones, and I had a blast. Yeah. But we can't do it here now because if we want to go to the fireworks, we got to go over to the school, or we can go into Ottawa. Ottawa's huge.
We're really not supposed to do it here either, but we're rednecks down here in the hills. We're going to do what we're going to do. And if the deputies would have showed up and wrote me a ticket the other night, I'd have paid the fine, but I wouldn't have stopped. I'd have just told them, I'm going to look.
I paid for it. Now you're just going to have to let me finish.
Well, I mean, this area that I live in, Appalachia, we've got that reputation. We've always kind of been, we do what we do.
You're your own little community.
Yeah, I mean, it just is what it is. We're gonna. It's 4th of July. We're gonna shoot off our guns. We're gonna blow stuff up. That's what we do. You can write me a ticket and I'll pay the fine. But I'm still going to blow stuff up on 4th of July. That's just how it is.
You guys did the holiday proud, that's for sure. I saw your video. Well, I love the redneck crib. That was cool.
Yeah, you like that?
Well, that's next best thing to a dresser drawer.
Yeah, it was a really good time. Hopefully there'll be we do that kind of stuff every year, every 4th. Get around and you get a bunch of rednecks around, especially a bunch the redneck, like the prepper rednecks, man, there's going to be lots of good chow.
Yeah. Lots of shoot 'em ups and blow 'em ups.
Yep, we had a good time.
We actually kept it really quiet this year. Last year, we did the little parade, and I went and filmed it and everything. But apparently, I wasn't feeling well this year, so Mom and Howie went to the parade, and we're back in 15 minutes. They came. Said what? They said it was the fire trucks and somebody with a big old model horse in the back of their truck, and that was about it. Some kids on bikes.
Yeah, we're going to do our own parade next year. I think we're going to get everybody out, like our next stuff right here. We're going to get everybody on their lawnmowers and just do a little parade up down the creek road.
Last year, they had a couple of little kids, about 6, 7 years old, dressed all in Amish clothes, and they had a miniature wagon. And they were pulled by 2 ponies, and that was the best part of the parade. That and the classic cars. But, I mean, this year apparently there wasn't as much celebration. I don't know, maybe it's because the lady who was make everybody speak French got booted out or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Who cares?
To me, on Independence Day, that's what it. I take it for what it is. Independence Day. That's the day to celebrate.
Well, you gotta blow shit up on Independence Day.
Well, I mean, we're still out here where I live, in southern part of Ohio, right here in the hills. We still, for the most part, are free. The cops don't show up unless somebody's dead.
Calling them.
Exactly. I mean, it's just we're pretty much still free out here to mind our own business and do our thing as long as we're not hurting anybody else. Usually, it's okay. That's the reason why the people who live out here. We choose to mind our own business and do our own thing, take care of our own business. Don't depend on anybody but us. And we help each other out when we need it, but we're not asking.
That's right. So, yeah. Freedom means different things to different people, and I honestly think there's a lot of people out there who are not free and don't realize it.
I agree.
And don't realize how close they are to losing their freedom, or they have this grand illusion of what freedom is, and reality just doesn't measure up.
Well, freedom is, independence, freedom to grow my garden and grow our animals and feed our children and educate our children. Our little country school out here every morning, they don't call it any particular thing. They have their little moment of silence and they say the Pledge of Allegiance still, and that's just country. That's out here where we are. We still, our communities and our community leaders still has those kind of values. And there's a lot of places in the country that are changing and stuff like that. That's that's what the people in that area want. The more power to them. That's another part of being free. I'll do what I do, you do what you do, and it is what it is. So
when we first went bankrupt and we moved to Wakefield, I remember I had my gastric bypass surgery and I dropped like 140 pounds, which I've gained back most of, but I got a job for the first time in years. I worked at the bakery. Bad place to work, but my stomach was too small to eat anything anyway. So, but anyway, I remember getting to know the customers. I worked there for like 18 months, and I remember getting to know the customers. And there was one guy that always came in and bought the day-old bread and anything day-old, and he would never pay sticker price. He always argued with me, which was fun. Come on. You don't, if it's already marked down, come on, you got to be able to bargain more for it. But anyway, I remember asking him one day, I said, Jim, because we had lived in Wakefield for about over a year, and I had two dogs. We had two dogs, and one of our dogs had puppies, and we sold all the puppies, but one of them found out she was allergic to it, and she gave our puppy back. And my neighbor was like, oh, no, you can't have it. I said, oh, I might keep him. Oh, no, you can't do that. You can't have 3 dogs here. I went, what? I can have whatever I want. No, you can't. It's the bylaws. And last year, so I remember asking one of my regular customers, a good old boy, and he came in one day and I said, where can I go if I'm looking for a cheap piece of property where no one's going to bug me if I have a couple of chickens and an extra dog or whatever? He said, you head up the highway, you head up that highway right there, and anywhere past, is it McDonald Road, dear? Where the dump is. Yeah, anywhere past McDonald Road. He said, you're in a whole other world, He said, that's hillbilly country. And I said, got it. And that's the first place we looked. And we got this place. And I remember buying some, I'd never been so mad I got took by a senior citizen. She played on my respect for the elderly. But anyway, I remember going into Wakefield one day because a woman was selling asparagus roots. And I'm not going to get into the story about how she took me, but anyway, she had 5 acres. She was sitting on 5 acres, had a pond. Her house was 3 acres back from the road, right? And I said, oh, well, I was talking about my chickens. She said, I'd love to have chickens. I said, then get some. She said, I can't. It's against the bylaws in La Pêche. I only have 5 acres. I said, you got to be shitting me. Really?
Yeah.
You can't have 5 chickens on 5 acres. I said, they better not ever show up on my half acre.
Yeah. There's a lot of people, I've heard a lot of people say they couldn't have the wind turbine or they couldn't have the goats or the chickens because of their homeowners association or something wouldn't let them. And I'm just like,
I wouldn't live anywhere that had a homeowners association.
That's why I live where I live. We don't even have a county inspector. You build a building, that's your responsibility. If it falls in and kills you, well, you should have built a better damn building.
Well, I mean, when we bought this place, it was, you know the story. It was falling down. The addition was falling off. But I'll tell you something. When, they must never have had insurance on this place because there was no way they could have insured it with the roof that was on it, right? But when we replaced the roof, Howie drew up this beautiful diagram of gave them how many trusses we were going to use and who was building the trusses and where we were getting our materials and the slope and everything. And he drew the diagram and he took it into the municipal office and for a building permit. And they looked pleased as punch that he gave them all that information. They were like, cool. This is really awesome. He got drawings and everything here, right? $25. Here you go. Here's your building permit.
Yeah.
So about, I don't know, how long was it after the roof went up there? I don't know, 3 months after the roof went up, they phoned us. Hey, is your roof done yet? Yeah, why? Well, we just wanted to make sure we could close the file. They never even came by and looked.
Yeah.
They never even looked, you know?
Yeah.
But, I mean, if, I know for a fact, some people have tried to build, you know, put a trailer out by the road and then build a little addition on it. And we're talking a little camping trailer. And they must have went by and went, no, 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 that ain't happening. Because that stopped in its tracks. But, I mean, when we built our barn, I know they came by because they do a property inspection every year for taxes. Like, they drive by. And they must have taken one look at our barn and went, cool, nice barn, got no quarrel with that, because we never heard from them. No building permit.
Yeah, well, we never had no issues with anything like that out here. Like I said, we didn't, didn't do any of that kind of stuff. Hey, let me know if the wind gets too loud or the wind turbine, whatever, spinning gets too loud.
You got questions, don't you?
Well, Uncle Buck wants to know if you saw his incubator video that he made yesterday.
No, I haven't had a chance to watch any except yours.
Yeah, he did one about his homemade eating. That thing is gigantic.
How many eggs
Holy crap! Walk-in freezer with shelves in it. And then he says he liked my pipe bomb. Thanks, Uncle Buck. You know what, Uncle Buck? If you would come and visit more often, you would show me how to build a proper pipe bomb, I'm sure. But, you see, you leave me down here by myself in the hills, and that's what you get right there. That's
I got comments here. Now, can anybody remember how I found them last time?
Yeah. No.
Hi, Jim. Jim's here. Jim, my love, out in Texas. He's got to stop yanking my chain. Wait a minute. I'm trying to find how I can scroll these comments. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Auto loads on. Keep talking among yourselves here. I'm trying to figure out where did my comments go? Oh, no. Oh, there they are. Phew. And there's my little scroll bar. Okay. All the comments are automatically at the top. Okay, sorry, folks. Sorry about that. So, no, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it yet. But ask Uncle Buck, if you're there, tell me yes or no. Do you think Howie could build one? Because
I'm sure. You're not going to need one nowhere near that big, though. He could hatch like 7,000 eggs at once, and that's huge. It was every bit as big as my big stand-up deep freeze.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I have got to see that. Yes, Jim, you are in the chat room. It's part of the comments. Mary's monitoring the comments, and she will take questions. Hi, Bitty Boo Brown. Hi, Uncle Buck. Uncle Buck. Sambo's mom. Did I miss anybody? Probably. Hi, Glow. Jody Bean. Jana Cox. Two big dogs girl. And Reef Tanker.
That's Mary.
That sounds almost medicinal. Reef Tanker.
Reef Tanker is Mary. That's her YouTube channel name.
Oh, hi, Mary.
Because her saltwater things.
I've got some eggs getting ready to hatch here of my little dark Cornish and my black copper Morans. And I've never hatched past May, ever. So this is the longest amount of hatching I've ever done, ever. But next year, the only thing I'm going to be hatching is meat birds, like birds for meat, because I'll have all new laying hens, and they'll be good for a couple of years. So keep our fingers crossed for a Cornish rooster.
Once we get to our little cycle going, we got the rooster now up there. We're going to wait for the one of the dark Cornish roosters too. And once we know that everything is going to kind of work, and we get in our little routine, and hopefully every 2 or 3 months we'll be butchering some and hatching out some new ones at the same time.
Yeah. My egg turner works really well too. Like I made
at the store, one less thing. I like to have, every a couple of times a year, take one thing off the list that you got to pay for every month.
Yeah. Absolutely. Our wind turbine actually moved today. We think the problem is like I'm looking at the trees, and they're just going whoosh, 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 doing all that stuff. But the wind turbine is slightly lower than the trees. And even though the wind hits us on the ground, Howie explained that it's not a straight cross wind. The trees diffuse it.
Yeah.
So we may have to figure out a way of putting it up higher. I don't know.
They call that dirty wind.
Dirty wind. It's called dirty wind, Howie. It's called dirty wind. When it goes through the trees like that. Learn something new every day.
Well, I've got a replacement now because I'm going to be upgrading my system to a 24 volt.
Right.
I've got all the components now. Now I just need to get after it and get it done.
Right.
So I have a 24 volt wind turbine and 24 volt inverter. That's just going to make it a little bit more efficient. That way we can use more things on the inverter without losing any of the power running through the cables. Because the way it looks, the way it is right now is I've got like my 6 solar panels.
Yeah.
They're all 12 volt panels, so I've got 6 leads that I'm trying to run through one wire into the batteries.
Don't you lose some energy efficiency going through the one wire?
Yeah, because I don't have a great big giant cable for it to go through. I've got number 10 wire, so
those big giant cables are bloody expensive.
Yeah, that's the reason why I don't have the big cables. So if I wire those all in series parallel and make them 24 volt, then instead of having 6 leads that I'm trying to cram into the wire, I only have 3 leads that'll fit through the wire, and it'll make it run more efficiently.
Yeah, so that makes sense. You and Howie, I can hear you guys just jammering away when we come down.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go and get my passport updated. And my son came to visit yesterday. He's been away because we kicked him out because he wouldn't get a job. So now he lives in Toronto with my nephew. He still hasn't got a job, but he's working on it apparently. But I told him, I said, if you don't have a job in October, you're coming up here and you're house sitting for us and animal sitting. And I think he would appreciate it. He said, how much you going to pay me? I said, your bus ticket and $100. Shut up.
Yeah, and I won't kick your ass.
That's right. And he goes, I could have, that could, yeah. See, he actually sounded excited, whereas before I'd say, okay, we're going away to Arizona, and, look after the animals, and if I come home and anything's dead, you are on your ass in the street, because those are my babies. You're my son, but they rely on us for comfort and, the everyday things of life. So everybody was alive, but you just never know with teenagers, but I think he's got the idea now. I know if he came up now and looked after stuff, he would actually do a good job. That's Briar. My other son, well, he'd just kick ass the whole time. But he'll be in school. His last year of university, I said, are you a doctor yet? And he said, Mom, I'm not trying to be a doctor. I said, but you've been in university for 6 years. Shouldn't you be a doctor? He said, no, but I will have a PhD. Or something like that. So, kids. I figured out where they were coming from and tied a knot in it. And put the cork in the bottle.
Yeah, I'm not corking the bottle, but it is what it is. It is what it is.
Sutton's Day says next weekend we're butchering our meat birds. We'll be using Jnull's defeatherer. Looking forward to fast and easy, which means something will go south. No, only if, now come on, that's not a good attitude. We got to build, Howie's got to build one soon.
Mine worked good. Like I said, I wore gloves because, with them rubber bungee cords spin around and they slap your hand, it stung a little bit, but with gloves on, it wasn't that bad, and I would, under 2 minutes, I'd have that whole bird cleaned and move on to the next stage of processing. So good luck with it, man. It worked for me. It worked for me. Still there? Did she freeze up? I think she froze up. Hello? Hello? Is this the perfect time for me to go, oh, bugga, 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 bugga? Come on, Mabel. I'm not doing that to you. It still says live up in the corner. I don't know. Am I still on there? Hello, everybody. I don't know what happened to Bev. But, she froze up on my screen, and I don't know if I'm still on here by myself. I guess maybe I can sing and dance. We'll do a little entertainment. Oh, hello, my honey. Hello, my baby. Enjoy the view of the scenery. I'm not quite sure what to talk about. Yay. What was it we just talking about? The chicken plucker? Yeah, my chicken plucker worked all right. So, I don't know. Are there any questions? Anything? Anybody got any questions? Anybody say anything in the comments? Ooh. Awkward. Alrighty then. Welcome to Sunday night with the Mrs. Volpe and me.
Just you.
Yeah. So, Bev, how's your garden doing? Excellent. My garden is also doing as well as could be expected. Been a little dry this year. Hoping to get some more rain, but we actually have tomatoes now, which look and taste like tomatoes, which is just awesome. Makes me happy. My cucumbers as well, yes. Cucumbers are doing okay. We made some pickles the last couple of days. I love bread and butter pickles. I use that Mrs. Wages pack stuff to make up a bunch of bread and butter pickles, and they're really, really good. Thanks for asking, Bev. I appreciate that. The zucchinis as well. Yes, my zucchinis. Now, I know you said that you had trouble with your zucchinis just a second ago there, but my zucchinis are doing okay. We like to fry them up, and deep fry them, and one of my friends, PJ, my daddy's girl, 44, she says she taught me to slice them real thin and then dehydrate them and make like zucchini chips. Put a little bit of garlic salt and stuff like that on there, and dehydrate them and make them like chips, and they're pretty good that way too. And of course, we'll can some up and put it in soups and slice them thin and toss them into some spaghetti and that kind of stuff in my zucchinis. I just love this time of year when the garden's coming on. There's so many things to do. We picked some green beans earlier, getting ready to can them up. It's just every dollar we can save by growing produce, we can't we don't have to give it to the grocery store or the produce department. So. Am I really here by myself? Is this thing going? Is it working? Is this thing on? Hello? Woohoo! Oh, man. Okay, well, I'm not quite sure what happened, y'all. If this is still running for me, then thanks for stopping by. And I'm going to hang up on my end because I don't know what to do. It's uncomfortable. So, all right, guys. Well, we'll see if we get kicked back on here in a little bit. And if not, then we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching. You have a great evening. God bless. Ian.